In this video, I showed you guys how I made a beat like Samiyam. That means I'll be going over the steps I took to create a drum pattern and chord progression that sounds something like he would actually make, along with a few other key pointers. So let's get into it. When I took the chance to make a beat like Samiyam, I decided to listen to his whole arsenal of albums that are available on Spotify and YouTube. From all his albums, there are three that stood out to me: Pizza Party, Reflections, and Sam Baker's. The reason why those three albums stuck out to me is because they displayed distinct qualities that I feel like I would be able to confidently recreate. So with that being said, let me show you guys the beat. Before I even made this beat, there were two things that I had to take into consideration: the drums and the chords. Samiyam has some pretty unique chord progressions and drum patterns, and those things can either make or break the beat. So let's get into the drums. So for the drums, I kind of worked backwards, and I say that because I started off with a lot of drums, then I kind of used the process of elimination to get the sound I was looking for. So let me show you guys the sounds that I got. So those are the sounds that I used, and this was how I got the drums. First, I started off with the hi-hats. Real simple. Then I put in the snare and the kick drum at the same time. After that, I went ahead and dropped in some tom drums. Then I topped it off with a few extra sounds like a crunchy hi-hat and a snare roll. With all that being done, this is how the drums sound. So the drums were sounding okay in my opinion, so I added a hi-hat loop. Check it out. So now we're getting kind of closer to that sound that I'm looking for, but it's not really on point. So I go ahead and do the process of elimination, and I take out a few hi-hats and I play around with the mute on the hi-hat loop, as you can see right here. And that gave me this sound. And now that's exactly what I was looking for. After that, I went ahead and dropped down some chords. So I got a little synth sound that sounds something like this. And these are the chords I got with the drums. Now those chords are on point. The chords that I actually used were a B flat major 7, but in the second inversion. Then I went ahead and played a C sharp 6 first inversion. Then I went ahead and played the B flat major 7 again. And then I changed it up a little bit right here. I played a F minor add 4. Down to that C sharp 6 first inversion. And left it off at an A flat major 7 second inversion. And if you guys are confused with these chord names and stuff and inversion and, you know, add 4 and all that stuff, don't worry, I got a chord video tutorial coming in. It's just a lot of knowledge that I have to put into the video. But let's get back into this video. After getting the chords, I decided to lay down a bass line and this little pluck sound that I got. The bass line and the plug sound are also from Serato Studios, so just keep that in mind. And yeah, at this point, I feel like I got the two key components that I really want to get down, which were the chords and the drums. So now I'll go ahead and put a cherry on top with the vocals, and then I sequence the beat. But before I get into those two things, I just want to let you guys know, if you guys are interested in trying out Serato Studio, go ahead and hit the link down in the description below and type in code LowKey. This will give you guys 2 months of Serato Studio for free. So if you guys have been watching my videos and want to give this Serato Studio stuff a try for free, go ahead and take up this opportunity right now, because I'm not too sure how long it'll be up for. But let's get back into the video. For the vocals, they were kind of simple. I just used a few different like video game sounds, and this is how they sound. And this one right here is my favorite. I actually heard Samiyam use something similar to this sound in one of his beats called Without a Limit. And to get that sound, all I did was, here's the original sound. Went ahead and lowered the tempo by 75%, and it gave me this sound. And there, you got that sound. So now that I have the bare bones of the beat, I'll go ahead and organize the scenes and such where I can sequence the beat later on right here. So I have, you know, one scene with just a synth and the drums, then I add in the pluck and the bass, then I add in a few other sounds, and towards the end of the beat, I added one more sound, and that's this little RP synth right here. So the chords for that sound are pretty much the same as the original synth sounds. I just added a few extra notes or whatnot. So now that we got basically everything for the beat, let's go ahead and sequence it and mix it. So now that we have everything for the beat, we have the chords, the drums, the bass line. It's pretty much sequenced right here. Now we can go ahead and mix the beat. So with this beat, I wanted it to sound pretty much in your face, because Samiyam's beats are really out there, confident, and you know, you can pretty much hear every aspect of the beat. So I'll go ahead and drop down a master compressor and a limiter squeezer. And what these two things do, the compressor kind of boosts certain sounds, and then the limiter squeezer basically just makes it louder and squeezes out a few extra sounds that you couldn't really hear before. After that, I went ahead and mixed the drums, the kick. I just dropped the graphic EQ. I raised the bass, took out the sub frequencies because I wanted to give some space for the bass line, and I took out a little bit of the highs. For the snare, it was completely opposite. I took out the bass and I added some of the highs just to make it sound a little bit more crispy. For the hi-hat, real simple. All I did was take out all the bass. Even though it's a hi-hat, it still has bass in it. Pretty much all sounds have bass, and you know, if you have so many sounds with small amounts of bass, it'll eventually add up and it'll be taking away space from the bass line or the kick drum. So keep that in mind. This crunchy hi-hat, I didn't really EQ that at all. For the tom drums, same thing. I didn't really EQ those at all. I just utilized the mixing face that Serato Studio has. For this hi-hat loop, real simple. Take out all the bass, you know, even though it's a hi-hat, again, it has bass in it, trust me. And then for the synth, so for the main synth, all I did was take out the bass, and on the bass line, I didn't really have to do much, but add a little bit of extra bass, and now I don't have to worry about the frequencies clashing together, or, you know, the mix sounded too muddy, because every instrument has its own space to breathe. So with all that being done, let me show you guys the finished product. So that's going to do it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and hopefully you guys feel like this actually sounds like something Samiyam would make. I had a lot of fun making this beat, and I want to give this a shot for a pretty long time now. It's just that I couldn't really hit the nail on the head with this one. So yeah, if you guys have any suggestions for other producers, always feel free to drop down in the comments who you would like to see me make a beat like. And that's gonna pretty much do it for this video. Make sure you guys like and subscribe, and let's try to get this video out to Samiyam. I want to see what he thinks about this beat. But without further ado, peace out.